Hello, and once again, we are live to the Modern Mystery School UK and EU podcast and YouTube channel. And today we are joined by the fabulous Holly. Holly, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Well, I am very excited to speak to you because your background is very interesting. From the fashion world, creative director, designer, global fashion brand, and have all that background. And then we've got, the life activation. Can you tell us why you wanted to have the life activation? What did it do for you? Did it do anything? What have you noticed? Anything that you can share?
So, yeah, I did a lot of, basically, was very positive and like tried to do all the right things, and there was a lot of pain underneath all of that. And in trying to heal, I started doing yoga every day. I looked to drugs and alcohol, and that was quickly not the answer for me. I'm really hypersensitive to those type of things. So I got into yoga. I was doing meditation at a very, very young age. And it was helping. And then I sought out like Jungian therapy and a lot of other things, and I learned a little bit along the way. But I kept hitting a wall as far as creating healthy boundaries with people. And I kept finding myself in really bad situations, sometimes scary situations, but always it was just some iteration of abuse, basically. And all the tag words that you find all over YouTube, like gaslighting was involved in manipulation. And I think that people talk about those things a lot, but they actually don't know how to help people to find a way out and through. And I became very educated about the process of what was happening to me, but I got to the point where I was completely desperate. I was, you know, anger turned inwards becomes like suicidal depression. And I definitely quite suddenly just came crashing down with that. And I was going to look for a guru, and I started that process. And then I found the life activation. And I really would have tried anything at this point because I just wasn't having success in any other modality. I mean, I knew exactly what was happening, but how to stop it, how to make my life better, that was just really beyond me, because my boundaries had been encroached on at a very, very early in life, and I didn't have the training or the like social recognition on what those were, what the keys were, and what the how to stop it before it got out of control, before I gave up, my power. And so, gradually, well, first of all, it immediately helped with the depression. I felt better right away because the energy will be, it works kind of like a triage, like the first most immediate thing it will take care of. And then gradually I started learning, like, okay, this is where I've given up my power. This person, like, this was a test, that was a test. And these people they don't just kind of like drown you in their skeletons and things. They it's slow, it's subtle, it's like a test, a test, a test. And they push and push and push. And you know those to build stronger boundaries and build healthy boundaries, it takes some time, but eventually that's what I learned out of the life activation that was the most valuable. And I think it does give you perspective on life. It helps you through other situations as well, because you can see clearly what's happening. But as far as building boundaries, that is priceless. And it's something that you can't learn, and no amount of discussion on chat groups or therapy, or I've done all kinds of different types of therapy, body therapies, and yoga makes you very introspective, so you know exactly what's going on and you can approach the situation with equanimity, but that's not enough. So
Yeah, I love that perspective, because people often don't associate the life activation with that big healing around boundaries, because that's huge. I mean, most people have, perhaps not 100% discernment around boundary setting. It's something that we can all say we could get better at,
yes.
So that's really interesting. And I loved the fact that you mentioned that depression as well, that immediately lifted. That's something that I noticed as well, and something quite a lot of people refer to. So that again is that that light coming in. It's like whoosh. It's that that hope. That's amazing. So in this process of having the life activation, what have you noticed? Perhaps because obviously you went on and trained to share the
Mhm.
life activation with others, because it like me, it's you have such great results, you want to share it with others. What do you often see in your clients? I mean, who is this suitable for? I mean, is it just for like yogis, or is it just for spiritual people, or can anybody have it?
Yeah, I mean, I have a client who's a doctor, and it really helped her, like with things that she was medically being treated with medically. And I have another client who is a dancer, and that's a very unhealthy world. I don't, I don't want to go into details, but yeah, it's the nightlife can be very taxing, and yeah, it's helped a lot of clients to have better relationships overall. And you know that could, a lot of times people come to me for building healthier boundaries for problems at work, and being bullied, and just things like that. So it's I see a lot of people who are professional, creative, or doctors, lawyers, architects. It's really good for everybody. It's quite amazing. And the reason why I trained in it was because first I just wanted more healing. I couldn't believe that it worked, so I really needed to also know how it worked. And I went on to Healers Academy just to find out how, just to get more healing, to find out how. And there I did not feel like I fit in at all. I was convinced that I couldn't do this. I thought everybody else can do it because they seemed really into it, and they knew about, I don't know, unicorns and like things like that. It's like it wasn't a part of my world. It wasn't even close to anything in my vocabulary. And I just stood there, like they said, okay, now trade, exchange the life activation with your partner. And I thought, I can't do this. Like, I just stood there and my partner was like waiting for me. And I was like, I can't do it. And I was told, you need to get busy. And by Martina. And so I did, and I mean it was just incredible. I actually, the school handed down the modality and opened the gates that I needed in order to be able to do the process, and then I could give it to other people. And that was, it really opened my eyes to a world that I never knew existed. And um it's fun, it's amazing to help somebody else at a point where they might have come to the end of their rope, and not have any, still not be able to find the answers. Hopefully they choose it sooner than that.
Yeah, I agree. It's often the last thing that people, oh, well, you know, I've tried everything else. Let's just give it a go. And I am in your camp. I truly believe that if we could just do this a few steps before, before that, it would, you know, it would save a lot of that heartache. And I'm hoping that this interview and all the interviews that we do really help people out there to understand that there is something. Yes, it might be outside their normal world, but it does work, and it works for everybody. So, Holly, thank you. Our
Thank
time has
you.
whizzed by. Our time has whizzed by, and we're definitely going to get you back on the show and ask you about initiation and such like, because I will be very excited to hear your thoughts on Empower Thyself and what have you. So we'll do that at a later date.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for tuning in. If you want a life activation, just want to find out a little bit more, we have practitioners in over 55 countries. I'm sure we can connect you to somebody close by. So take care for now.